Okay, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Okay, guys, I'm back for video number 2, and it is still Thursday, November 14th, and it is now 10 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, well, let's get into the news. We've already thanked everyone in the first video, so we don't have that to do. And if I do have time, I will tell you a very interesting cat story. Interesting indeed, but I'll leave that to the end. All right, also, I am aware that Q is posting right now, even as we speak, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. I will look at it tonight. If it's anything that I can bring you right away, I will try to do that. If not, it will be tomorrow, but I am going to be trying to post earlier. All right, so, and thank you for letting me know that it's setting 1 that is the best. That's what I felt, and obviously the majority of you did as well. So that's what it is. And also, what else was it? A couple people have asked me to kind of do like some people do, like they make themselves a little bit bigger, and you know, they kind of blank themselves out so it's just them in the screen in the bottom. There's several people that do it that way, and you know, you're able to, you know, see me a little bit better. I don't know. I am considering doing that. I need to look into it a little bit because I do need a green screen, but other than that, I may do that because I know I like to see people when they do that, when they kind of, you know, they're a little bit bigger and I can see their expressions and their eyes and everything because you can tell so much. So I am going to consider doing that and making some improvements as we go along. So let me know, give me your suggestions because I do listen to you guys. There's no sense in me doing this if, you know, if nobody watches, or, you know, if you guys are like, I don't like watching it, I can't even see her. So let me know. I'll do what I can. All right, let's go into the news. We're just going to pick up from where we left off. Actually, I just divided this page. The first half was Q and the second half is video, or is news. So that's what we're going to be looking into next. Now, I like this, and you can't stop me from not liking it. So I'm going to click on this, and we can all be happy together. Donald Trump campaign raises $3.1 million in small donations during impeachment hearings. Now, interesting. When anyone, like, name somebody, I mean, there's only been 2 impeachments in U.S. history, as far as I know, 2 recent ones anyway. There may have been some way back, I don't know. But anyway, here the Democrats are railing on Donald Trump, like how he's done all this illegal crap and whatever. And obviously his followers can see right through it because they use that opportunity, or they use that as an opportunity to raise money for Trump. So 3.1 million in small donations. These are people like you and me. These are not people that are multi-millionaires raising all sorts of money for him. No, these are small donations. People like you and me, the average American. Well, I'm Canadian, but I'm a full-time resident. Hopefully I will be fully American at some point, and I am hoping that you all can celebrate with me. So, when I think about that day, it excites me. I don't know. I identify with the States and America, and I love it there. All right. So President Donald Trump's 2020 re-election campaign announced it raised $3.1 million in small dollar donations during the first 24 hours of House Democrats launching public impeachment hearings on Wednesday. The news was announced by Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale. One of the best fundraising days ever. Again, he wrote on Twitter, Dems just don't get it. They are filling our bank and improving our turnout every day. And they are, because I think most people can see through this charade, and it is a charade. And I think it makes people angry. And even people that are diehard Democrats are turning and going, wait a minute, like, I'm a Democrat, but these guys have lost their nut or something. They're right off the charts weird. So they're turning to Trump. And that's something. So anyway, I don't think that, I'm not going to read all of this. It's not important. I think the important fact is that we know that it happened. But it says every single time they do this, we raise a fortune, Eric Trump told Breitbart News, recalling the $15 million raised in the 72 hours since Pelosi announced the inquiry. You gotta love this. So anyway, let's go back and let's see what else we can get into, because there's plenty more. Oh, let's look at this. Shall we? Of course we shall. AOC impeachment about preventing a potentially disastrous outcome from occurring next year. Oh, because I thought an impeachment had to do with somebody committing a crime, an impeachable offense. Not wanting him to be in office is not an impeachable offense. Because if it was, we'd impeach you, because I don't think anybody likes having you in office, so we would impeach you, right? I'm just saying. If it was about not liking somebody, hey, Pelosi would have been impeached by now. Definitely Schiff. I can think of a whole lot of people. So, yeah, it's not about that, AOC, and it's not about what you want. Sorry to have to tell that to you, but it's not all about you. Really, it's not. Okay, let's look at this. We're not going to read all this because that would make me nauseous. And during the break, I put my supper in the one pot. And if you don't have a Instapot or one pot, then you're just not living. I don't know what I did before it. My mom got me the Instapot for my birthday, and it is like the gift that keeps on giving. And it is to her too, because I cook stuff for her in it. So anyway, I put everything in my my Instapot. It is actually, I'm having unrolled cabbage rolls in my one pot. So everything's in there and it's cooking even as we speak. I know it's late to have supper, but what can you do? All right. So anyway, that's where my mind is right now, because I'm starting to smell it. Okay. So on Wednesday, broadcast of CNN's The Situation Room, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said today's public hearing in the impeachment inquiry of President Donald Trump was not just about something that occurred. She said it was instead about preventing a potentially disastrous outcome from occurring next year. Wow! At least she's honest about it. Now, I can respect that. I don't know if I would go so far as to say I respect her, but at least she's not lying about it. At least she's being completely open and honest. You got to respect that. Ocasio-Cortez said the whole point of the public hearings is to present the facts to the public and let the general public see the facts for themselves and understand why we have chosen to move forward with the impeachment inquiry. Oh, we understand why you've moved forward with the impeachment inquiry, because you just told us you don't want him to be in power next year. Why do we have to have the whole charade? The public people will see for themselves why we have chosen to move forward with the impeachment inquiry. Well, we know why. Anyway, why don't we just save taxpayer money? And why don't you just, the Democrats just be honest and say, you know what? We don't like Trump. He intimidates us because we can't beat him. And we want to stay in power because, our child trafficking and our weapons smuggling and all that stuff. It's in, he's cramping our style, man. He's hitting our pocketbooks. So we don't want him in next year. Why don't they just stand up and say that? Just saying. Be a novel approach, wouldn't it? Our national security has been compromised. Right. I think right now what Republicans have to do is decide what their role is going to be in the scope of history. Well, we know what side you'll be on in the scope of history. Yes, we do. It's not going to bode well for you. I'm just saying. So, let's just, I don't want to read the rest of this because I quite frankly couldn't care less what she has to say or what she thinks about, because goodness knows they're not even her thoughts. So why waste my time and your time? So anyway, I just wanted you to know that she at least is honest in that regard. Yeah, we just don't want him in office next year. Yeah, that's why we're going to impeach him. Absolutely. And Rashida Tlaib, impeach that MFer. And then Pelosi gets up there and says, oh, it's so solemn, such a solemn occasion. We don't do this, lightly. We're not delighting in the fact that we have to do this. Bull crap. Alrighty, let's go back. That's where we're headed right now. Here we go. And let's look at this. No, really, let's. Seriously. XTV. Now, I know at first you're going to say, what does this have to do with the price of oil in Peking? Well, nothing, but it does connect to Adam Schiff. So now are you interested? I thought you would be. XTV medical correspondent charged with asking 9-year-old girl for racy photos. This is today's news, hot off the press. It doesn't get any hotter than that. Unless you have a bucket of hot diarrhea dumped over your head like that poor woman in California. Yeah. Can you imagine? Pacific Palisades, I don't know how to pronounce that. Palisades, I think it's Palisades. Pacific Palisades, California, former television medical correspondent Dr. Bruce Hensel was charged Wednesday for asking a 9-year-old girl to send him sexually suggestive pictures, reports CBS Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Police Department said detectives began a child exploitation investigation involving a 9-year-old child after inappropriate messages and photographs were shared between the child and a man believed to be Hensel. The 71-year-old was arrested in Santa Monica at 10:15 a.m. Wednesdays. Authorities said that's good news because he should be arrested. Hensel was charged with requesting images from the daughter of an acquaintance through a messaging app on or about August 4th, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office said. Deputy DA Angela Brunson of the Cyber Crime Division said Hensel faces 1 felony count of contact with a minor for sexual purposes. He's being held on $5,000 bail, but was later released. Of course, because $5,000 bail is nothing to him. That's like $5 to you and I. And I'm pretty sure every single one of us could raise $5. So it's this guy, this creepy guy, Dr. Bruce Hensel, charged with soliciting sexually suggestive pictures from an acquaintance's 9-year-old daughter. 9. He's 71. 9, and I think he's had a little bit too much work done. You know that look? After a while, you can just tell that it's an old person with young skin. You know what I'm saying? Not that he's old. 71 is not old, but I'm just saying, when your face looks like a 20-year-old, but the rest of you doesn't, yeah, it's pretty easy to tell. All right, just saying. Okay. If convicted as charged, Hensel faces a possible maximum sentence of 18 months in state prison. Oh, big deal. And then he'll be out to molest more children or request photos of them naked. We know how that goes. His lawyer told reporters Hensel is completely innocent of the charge. Oh, they all are. Please. They all are. It's just like when a police officer stops somebody for drunk driving. Oh, please, this is the first time I've ever done this. Well, you've got to be the most unluckiest person in the world. First time you've done it and you're caught. Wow, what are the odds? They all say that. Yes, I've worked for the police. I know that. Nobody ever says, I'm guilty. Hey, yeah, I did it. Me, right over here. Nobody does that. Even if they're speeding, even if you caught them speeding, it's like, I wasn't speeding. Yes, you were. No, not me. It's crazy. Yeah, Hensel is well known in the area as a former chief medical correspondent for CNBC, or KNBC rather, TV. He won 11 Emmys and 2 Golden Mike Awards for his work in Los Angeles media. Hensel's LinkedIn profile says he spent 29 years with NBC, much of that time at KNBC as its medical and science reporter, but left the station in May 2016. Now, what do you bet he'll say if he's caught? Well, he has been caught, and he's saying, oh, I'm completely innocent. But, Otherwise, he'll just say, oh, it's the first time, really. I got caught the first time. Sure you did, buddy. Sure. All right, so I know. You're saying, well, so what? I mean, they're everywhere, right? Well, now, I'm not done. I'm not done with that. Let's look at this now, and then see what you think of it. Here's Adam Schiff's friend was just arrested for allegedly asking a 9-year-old girl to send him sexually explicit photos. Here's Schiff praising and shaking hands with a child predator. Yes, indeed. Let's look. Oh, really, let's. Hang on here. Here we go. Oh, wonderful dog. Holy crap, that's loud. I'm going to turn it down. Otherwise, it's going to scare me out of 3 years growth, and I'm getting older. I can't afford 3 years growth. All right.
And a very brave moderator, and that is my friend Dr. Bruce Hensel.
His friend.
Dr. Hensel is one of the preeminent medical and science journalists in the country. He's published 2 books and has won numerous Emmys and Golden Mics for his work on NBC TV and ABC TV radio. Perhaps even more significantly, he writes and produces much of his own TV and radio material and is one of the only such medical experts to be a practicing physician and teacher. He's board certified in 2 specialties, emergency medicine and internal medicine, and is a full-time professor of medicine at UCLA. I don't know how you find time to do all this. He's an award-winning filmmaker and continues to take medical shifts, and he's dedicated his life to empowering people with the information to get and stay healthy. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Bruce Hensel.
Now, everybody's clapping for him, but boy, Schiff isn't getting too much of a reception, is he? And he just said that this man was his friend. Well, isn't that special? So, yeah, he's going to have a hard time distancing himself from that after giving such a glowing review. I mean, the only thing he didn't do is get down and lick his boots, but I'm sure he would have. You know. All right, let's move on from that. I think I've made my point. Okay. Are you ready for the next thing? Of course you're ready. You were born ready. Let's look. Now, a large cache of confidential foreign documents has been leaked, implicating Joe Biden, George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and Joseph Mifsud. And it is here. Now, this is, like I said, it's a large cache of information. It's coming from John Solomon, and there's a lot here. It all seems to center around Ukraine, and I have not had a chance to go through this stuff. There's a lot here, but of course, I'm going to upload this to Patreon later. So if you want that link, it'll be there, and there you go. So I can't, like, this is Burisma, CU versus State Freedom of Information Documents, Ukraine, Hunter Biden, Blue Star, Novelli, contacts, Biden, Blinken meeting, Archer meeting, Kerry. I mean, there's a lot here. And even more. And even more. So there, it's going to take me a while to get through that. I'm just saying. So if you guys are out there and looking at stuff and find something that you think I should look at, please send it to me, because, you know, I've only got these 2 set of eyes here, and, you know, we are the news. I'm not the news. You're not the news. We are the news now. Those of us that care about the truth and care about the truth being disseminated, we are the news. And that includes all of you as well. Just because I'm in front of a camera doesn't mean that, you know, I play any bigger role than you do. So anyway, let's go back now. And here we are going back. Now, this, I put bombshell info. So I'm thinking that we absolutely should click on that. What do you think? I'm thinking we should. Hi, Sammy. Sammy, come visit. Come say hi to your friends. They're friendly. Okay, now this from Michael Kudry. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I could be wrong. Kudry, that's how I would pronounce it. Bombshell. Leaked documents from the Ukraine General Prosecutor's Office indicate complex money transfers from foreign sources into the control of a slush fund owned and operated by Devon Archer, John Kerry Sr., John Kerry Jr., Heinz Jr., and Hunter Biden. Now, if that's not a bombshell, I don't know what is. Fire in the hole. Yeah. So let's go down because there's more. There's always, always, always more. According to the Department of Financial Monitoring, Counterintelligence of Latvia, the following sums of money were obtained from Burisma Holdings Limited, Cyprus, which is open at AS Private Bank in Latvia. I was at AS Private Bank. I don't know what that is. All right, let's see here. Well, it doesn't help that it's written in a foreign language. Doesn't help at all, but that's what they say it is. I'm hoping that those that say that are people that speak that language. I'm just saying. All right, let's go down here because I didn't get anything from that. Did you? This describes the money transfer of $14,655,982 and $366,015. Is that what that is? 300 and I don't know. See, when they write it like that, it's confusing. Euro from WireLogic Technology AS and $1,964,375 from Digitex Organization LLP. Further part of the sums described above were transferred to Alan Apter, Alexander Kwaniewski, Devon Archer, and Hunter Biden. Any of those names sound familiar to anybody? Yeah. Well, let's go down because there's more. There's always more. Burisma Holdings Limited, during a period from November 18th, 2014 to November 16th, 2015, transacted 45 money transfers through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC in the sum of $3.5 million with an M. The recipient of the money transfer is Rosemont Seneca Bohai LLC. Well, things are getting a little interesting, don't you think? Rosemont Seneca Bohai LLC is owned and operated by Devon Archer, the Kerry family, including John Kerry Sr., John Kerry Jr., Heinz Jr., and Hunter Biden. Wow. So Burisma Holdings transferred $3.5 million into the company Rosemont Seneca Bohai LLC, owned by Devon Archer, the Kerry family, and Hunter Biden. Nothing to see here. Right. Okay. All of whom are, okay, now Rosemont Seneca Bohai, okay, it's owned by Devon Archer, blah, 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 Hunter Biden, all of whom are also listed as partners in Rosemont Seneca Fund and other affiliated Rosemont Seneca companies. I told you, it's a bombshell, man. Bombshell. Leaked transaction and bank records indicate an influx of large payments from Ukraine energy company Burisma Holdings Limited to Rosemont Seneca Bohai LLC in what appears to be monthly payments of, and get this, $83,333.33. sense. Interesting. No? I say interesting, yes. And I wonder what Hunter Biden did for that $83,000 a month. I'd like to know. That's a hefty salary. Hefty salary. All right. Why was a foreign company that was being investigated by the Ukraine General Prosecutor's Office for corruption suddenly retain and solicit high-profile U.S. persons affiliated with government and pay them such large sums of money? This is why. Joe Biden at the Council on Foreign Relations. So I said to Poroshenko, Ukrainian president at the time, and Yatsenuk, Ukrainian prime minister, if you don't fire the prosecutor investigating my son, we're going to withhold the $1 billion in aid. What a shame if this went viral. Well, it has gone viral. I think everybody has seen that now, him bragging. Now, if anything is a quid pro quo, that is fire this guy that's investigating my son, or we're withholding the $1 billion in aid. Now that, they're accusing Trump of doing something that he never did. And there's proof because we have the transcript. But there's, old Joe Biden, and he's bragging about it. Oh yeah, so I told him, yeah, you better fire this guy or I'm going to withhold the $1 billion in aid. And he even says, oh, you wouldn't do that. Oh, yes, I would. Something about Obama. Well, call him. So Obama knew. He was okay with it. Unbelievable, these guys. Now, let's go on. There's more. Always more. Soon after high-profile U.S. persons were paid off, including the son of U.S. politician and Vice President Joe Biden, the corruption probe into Burisma and Hunter Biden was shut down under threat from the U.S. administration withholding $1 billion in aid. See here. Poroshenko, Ukraine's president, asked me to resign due to pressure from the U.S. presidential administration. Now, this is him testifying that, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I was fired and I was looking into Joe Biden, but they said, we've got to fire you or else they're going to withhold $1 billion. So Poroshenko, Ukraine's president, asked me to resign due to pressure from the United States presidential administration, in particular from Joe Biden, who was the U.S. vice president. Biden was threatening to withhold U.S. dollars $1 billion in subsidies to Ukraine until I was removed from office. And it's right here. It says the circumstances of my dismissal were that I tendered my resignation to the Rada at the request of President Poroshenko. He asked me to resign due to pressure from the U.S. president and particularly Joe Biden. I mean, it's all there. We know this. It's fact. These are not, innuendos or rumors or this person told this person who overheard it from another person. No, these are facts. But none of this is followed up on, of course, because it's all about making sure that President Trump doesn't get into office in 2020. Not that he's done anything wrong. He hasn't. He's done all sorts of things right. A lot of things right. And the people, the American people, for whom the government works, love President Trump. Yes, some hate him. Absolutely. But the majority love him. I've never seen anybody, not even rock stars, pack out stadiums like him, ever. And the rest of them, they can't even muster a tiny crowd. And when they do, they all look like they're falling asleep. Not at a Trump rally. All right, so in conclusion, it is, to the best of my knowledge, determined a corrupt foreign gas company solicited high-profile U.S. persons affiliated with the government to illegally influence official U.S. foreign policy and pressure the Ukrainian government to shut down its corruption investigation. Furthermore, it has been determined that after significant payments were made to the firm partly owned by Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, while the vice president, operated in an official capacity to change U.S. foreign policy to help enrich and protect his son, Hunter Biden. For further review, here are Rosemont Seneca Bohai's bank records listing dozens of payments from Burisma. Here, Rosemont Seneca, and let me see here. Well, this is available through the links in on my notes for tonight, so you can follow this for yourself and see for yourself here. I won't take time to do that now because I do have other things to get to. So that's it for that little piece, and we're going to go back now, but I felt that that was extremely important to bring to you. And let's come down here. It says, this is from Representative Jim Jordan. Boy, I have so much respect for that man, a ton of respect for that man. Today, the Ukrainian Foreign Minister, Vadim Prystaiko, verified what we already knew. I have never seen a direct relationship between investigations and security assistance. So, what he's saying is, he's saying that he has never seen, so U.S. Envoy Sondland did not link Biden probe to aid. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Vadim Prystaiko said on Thursday that U.S. Ambassador Gordon Sondland did not explicitly link military aid to Kiev. Actually, that's a little bit more unclear than I thought it was going to be. And it says something different than I thought it was going to say as well. So anyway, I'm not sure. Look, I'm not perfect. Did I say I was perfect? Did I say I was anywhere close to being perfect? I'm not. I make errors. Okay, now we're going to look at this just because it was one of those things that made me go, huh. Things that make you go, Yes, we're going there now. Thank you for asking. All right. This from the Daily Mail that is actually probably one of the buggiest email websites for ads. Even though I have an ad blocker, it makes you unblock it or else you can't see it. I hate that. That's like, what is that? It's like being bribed or blackmailed. Look, you can't see it unless you look at these videos, or unless you look at these ads. We're not going to show this to you. I can't even talk. Don't listen to me. All right. I don't want to look at that milk thing either. So stop seeing this ad. I want to stop seeing all of these ads, please. All right. I'll stop whining. Exclusive. Hillary Clinton enjoyed a cuddle with baby Archie after fangirl Meghan Markle invited the former First Lady over for a very warm, sweet meeting at her Frogmore Cottage home earlier this week. I don't think that's as innocent as it sounds, do you? Meghan secretly invited the former First Lady to her Windsor home on Tuesday. Sources claim it was a fangirl meeting, and the two women hugged each other. Oh, I just feel warmed right down to the deep, dark cockles of my heart, whatever that is. Sources claim it was a fangirl meeting. Yeah, they fawned over each other. Oh, you're so wonderful. No, really, you are. Mrs. Clinton, 72, told Meghan about her daughter Chelsea's new baby Jasper. Oh, isn't that sweet? I think I'm going to cry. No, I'm not. I might throw up. I'm not going to cry. Currently on a 6 weeks sabbatical from royal duties to spend time with her family, the Duchess of Sussex won't be seen in public until the new year, but that doesn't mean all is quiet behind the scenes. On Tuesday, Meghan secretly invited former First Lady Hillary Clinton to visit her at Frogmore Cottage, her Windsor home, the Mail can reveal. According to sources, the two women hugged during what was described as something of a fangirl meeting. Oh. Just makes me, I don't know, sick to my stomach. Prince Harry and 6-month-old Archie were there, and Mrs. Clinton, 72, even got to have, she's 72? I thought she was older than that. No, I'm being completely serious. She looks older than that to me. Because, I don't know, 72, that's still pretty relatively young. I mean, at least by Canadian standards, because people here live longer. But anyway, okay, I'll go on. I'll stop interrupting myself. I'll try. Well, I probably will, so don't even listen to me. 6-month-old Archie was there, and Miss Clinton, 72, even got to have a cuddle of the royal baby and told Meghan about Chelsea's new baby son, Jasper, her third grandchild. Oh, I bet it was a delightful meeting. Both women have a lot of admiration for each other, and it was a very sweet, warm meeting, the source said. They are mutual fangirls. Yeah, she looks older than 72 to me. On Tuesday, Meghan secretly invited former First Lady Hillary Clinton, pictured at Swansea University yesterday, to visit her at Frogmore Cottage. Yeah, and my bet is it really isn't a cottage. Yes, we all know. Frogmore Cottage, her Windsor home, the Mail can reveal. Meghan, 38, wrote to Mrs. Clinton when her husband Bill was at the White House when she was just 11 years old to demand her help in getting a sexist advertisement for dishwasher soap taken off the screens. It is not clear whether she ever got a reply, but the budding activist did successfully manage to get the voiceover that women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans replaced with a more palatable people. Apparently, the letter was discussed between the two women who were meeting for the first time. Yeah. It is unlikely that they also discussed Meghan and Harry's recent television It is likely they also discussed Meghan and Harry's recent television documentary in which she complained about how difficult she has found it joining the royal family and unfair media criticism. Earlier this week, former U.S. Secretary of State Ms. Clinton told the BBC, "Oh my God, I want to hug her. I feel as a mother, I just want to put my arms around her." The former First Lady, who has often talked of developing skin like the hide of a rhinoceros, I'm not going to comment on that, even though I dearly want to. Through her decades in the spotlight, added, "I want to tell her to hang in there. Don't let those bad guys get you down. Keep going. Do what you think is right." Now, you know when she was holding... What is this? Oh, yeah, we've got to listen to this. No, really, we do. Oh, I'm not going to listen to an ad just to get to that. Forget it. But, you know, when she was holding baby Harry, you know, she was probably just feeling the arms and the legs and thinking, juicy. Wonder what he'd taste like. I'm just saying, that's probably what she was thinking. Okay. So she is an amazing young woman. She has an incredible life story. She has stood up for herself. She has made her own way in the world. And then she falls in love, and she falls in love with her, and everybody should be celebrating that because it's a true love story. Miss Clinton said the Duchess might find it easier to cope with the pressure if she learned techniques such as some humor, some deflection, but added, but it is tough when it's going through, and I think she deserves a lot better. Oh, it's tough what she is going through, and I think she deserves a lot better. 2016 Democratic presidential candidate is currently on a publicity tour for the book of Gutsy Women, co-authored with her daughter, Chelsea Clinton. Gee, I wonder how much of it they actually wrote. None, probably. It is believed that the meeting may have been arranged with the help of the couple's head of communications, Sarah Latham, who worked for Mrs. Clinton on her campaign. Mrs. Clinton admitted this week that she was under huge pressure to run against President Trump next year. Please. She's under tremendous pressure to run next year. Are you kidding? No, seriously. Is she for real? What is she smoking? Really? Like, I don't know. Like maybe from George Soros. I don't know. I can't think of anybody else that wants her in. Are you kidding me? Haven't the American people already spoke? We don't want you. Go away. All right. So there you go. Well, that's that. There's the little cottage. Yes, cottage. Okay. Meghan has also become firm friends. Oh, firm friends. It's an odd word. With Michelle Obama. Okay. Wife of the former U.S. President Barack Obama, another Democrat, with whom she has also met privately. But, they're just all one big part of one big happy family. Part of the deep state cabal, right? Yeah. They all get along famously. Self-preservation. But she has previously been outspoken in her condemnation of the Republican President Donald Trump, and there were reports that neither she nor her husband wanted to play any part in his state visit to the UK earlier this year, although Harry eventually did, because Harry's not a child. Meghan and Harry, 35, are embarking on a 6-week self-imposed sabbatical from official royal duties to spend time together as a family, dividing their time between the UK and the US after what aides say has been an exhausting year. Buckingham Palace have confirmed that this would also include not spending Christmas with the Queen and the rest of the royal family at Sandringham. Instead, they will join Meghan's mother, Doria, at an undisclosed location. You know, that's a little odd to me. I'm just saying, it is. That they wouldn't spend Christmas with the Queen and the rest of the royal family. So I think probably her sabbatical is a forced one. I'm just saying. Meghan is not the only member of the royal family to have met Mrs. Clinton this week. On Wednesday, she went to see Prince William at Kensington Palace, where they discussed issues, including the environment. Now, if you think that they were just on a friendly little visit, fangirls, and she also met with Prince William, no, there's something up with that. And nobody can convince me otherwise because, I mean, really, it's quite obvious. So that's why I wanted you to be aware of that, because I think it's odd. And wouldn't be surprised if it comes up in a Q post or something at some point. Maybe, maybe not. All right, and this from Donald Trump Jr., who's doing a fabulous job, said he is responding to Lee Zeldin, who said, Schiff isn't even trying to hide it. He is the prosecutor, judge, jury, witness, coach, and lead storyteller of this kangaroo court. He'll burn the whole house down to take POTUS out. Charges don't actually matter. Facts don't actually matter. Evidence doesn't actually matter. And Donald Trump Jr. replies and says he has been for 3 years, starting with his original Russia collusion hoax. When will he face some accountability? My guess is soon. Don't know, just saying. Now, let's look at this. No, really. Let's go, Jim Jordan. Okay, now, I love this guy. I think he's awesome. A visual recap of the clear understanding of Ambassador Taylor's knowledge of what happened. Let's listen. No, really, let's.
Taylor recalls that Mr. Morrison told Ambassador Taylor that I told Mr. Morrison that I conveyed this message to Mr. Yarmak on September 1st, 2019 in connection with Vice President Pence's visit to Warsaw and a meeting with President Zelensky.
What? What? Let's listen to that again. No, really, let's.
Ambassador Taylor recalls that Mr. Morrison told Ambassador Taylor that I told Mr. Morrison that I conveyed this message to Mr. Yarmak on September 1st, 2019 in connection with Vice President Pence's visit to Warsaw and a meeting with President Zelensky. Now, this is his clarification. Let me read it one more time. Ambassador Taylor recalls that Mr. Morrison told Ambassador Taylor that I told Mr. Morrison that I conveyed this message to Mr. Yarmouk on September 1st, 2019 in connection with Vice President Pence's visit to Warsaw and a meeting with President Zelensky. We got 6 people having 4 conversations in one sentence, and you just told me this is where you got your clear understanding. Based on this, I mean, I've seen church prayer chains that are easier to understand than this. And Ambassador Taylor recalls that Mr. Moore.
Okay, so it's just starting over now, but I've seen church prayer chains. Oh my gosh, that's just hysterical. Like, Bazinga. I mean, he's really. Had to play that for you in case you missed it. So, yeah, that's why they're impeaching the president right there. Trying to. Yeah. All right, and I don't know what this is, but I'm going to find out. And you're not going to stop me. Well, maybe. Here we go. Okay, it says, I'm not even going to add any commentary to this. Just watch Jim Jordan go off. So let's listen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 55 days. 55 days between July 18th and September 11th that there was a delay on sending hard-earned tax dollars of the American people to Ukraine. We're not talking any country, we're talking Ukraine. Ernst & Young said one of the 3 most corrupt countries on the planet. Our witness on Friday, she testified in her deposition. Corruption is not just prevalent in Ukraine, it's the system. So our president said, time out. Time out. Let's check out this new guy. Let's see if Zelensky's the real deal. This new guy who got elected in April, whose party took power in July. Let's see if he's legitimate. Now keep in mind, as has already been discussed, in 2018, President Trump had already done more for Ukraine than Obama did. That's right. President Trump, who doesn't like foreign aid, who wanted European countries to do more, who knew how corrupt Ukraine was, did more than Obama because he gave him javelins. Tank-busting javelins to fight the Russians. Our witnesses have said this, others have said this. Obama gave him blankets, Trump gave him missiles. But when it came time to check out this new guy, President Trump said, let's just see if he's legit. So for 55 days, we checked him out. President Zelensky had 5 interactions with senior U.S. officials in that time frame. One was, of course, the phone call, the July 25th phone call between President Trump and President Zelensky. And there were 4 other face-to-face meetings with other senior U.S. officials. And guess what? Not one of those interactions, not one, were security assistance dollars linked to investigating Burisma or Biden. But guess what did happen in those 55 days? U.S. senators, Ambassador Bolton, Vice President Pence, all became convinced that Zelensky was in fact worth the risk. He was in fact legit and the real deal and a real change. And guess what? They told the president, he's a reformer, release the money. And that's exactly what President Trump did. Now, over the next few weeks, we're going to have more witnesses like we've had today that the Democrats will parade in here, and they're all going to say this. So-and-so said such and such to so-and-so, and therefore, we got to impeach the president. Actually, we can get more specific. We covered this a little bit ago. They'll say something like Ambassador Sondland said in his deposition, where he said, Ambassador Taylor recalls that Mr. Morrison told Ambassador Taylor that I told Mr. Morrison that I conveyed this message to Mr. Yarmouk on September 1st, 2019 in connection with Vice President Pence's visit to Warsaw and a meeting with President Zelensky. And if you can follow that, that's the Democrats' plan and why they want to impeach the president. That's what we're going to hear over the next couple weeks. That's what we're going to hear. But no matter what they do, no matter how many witnesses they bring in here, 4 facts will not change, have not changed, will never change. The call shows no linkage between dollars and the investigation into Burisma or the Bidens. President Trump and President Zelensky have both said on the call there was no linkage, there was no pressure, there was no pushing. Ukrainians didn't even know the aid was withheld at the time of the phone call, and most importantly, as has been pointed out, the Ukrainians didn't take any specific action relative to investigations to get the money released. Now, there is one witness that they won't bring in front of us. They won't bring in front of the American people. And that's the guy who started it all, the whistleblower. Nope. 435 members of Congress. Only one gets to know who that person is. Only one member of Congress has a staff that gets to talk to that person. The rest of us don't. Only chairmanship knows who the whistleblower is. We don't. We will never get the chance. We will never get the chance to see the whistleblower raise his right hand, swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. We'll never get that chance. More importantly, the American people won't get that chance. This anonymous so-called whistleblower with no firsthand knowledge, who's biased against the president, who worked with Joe Biden, who was the reason we're all sitting here today, will never get a chance to question that individual. Democrats are trying to impeach the president based on all that. 11 and a half months before an election. Will not get to check out his credibility, his motivations, his bias. I said this last week, but this is a sad day. This is a sad day for this country. You think about what the Democrats have put our nation through for the last 3 years. Started July of 2016 when they spied on 2 American citizens associated with the presidential campaign, and all that unfolded with the Mueller investigation after that. And when that didn't work, here we are. Based on this. The American people see through all this. They understand the facts support the president. They understand this process is unfair. And they see through the whole darn sham. With that, I yield back.
Mr. Welch.
Thank you. I say to my colleague.
Okay, so he is so good, but it's interesting to note that he said, oh, none of us know who the whistleblower is. I mean, they do, but none of us know who the whistleblower is except for Adam Schiff. Well, Adam Schiff corrected him then and says, oh, I don't know who he is. He lied. He just lied in front of them. Anyway, let's go back, and I see by the little clock on the bottom of my computer that it is getting late, and I think I'm going to end it there because I do have some more stuff to get to. I've got a lot of more stuff to get to, but I just we've already been going. I think I started this at 10. It's 10:51 right now, so I think I'm going to end it there, and I will bring the rest to you tomorrow, along with any Q posts that we have. That is that. But yeah, I think I will end it there. And I will see you guys tomorrow. But, I did promise you something. I did promise you my cat story. And so I will, for those of you that do not like chatting, essentially the video's over. The news part of the video is over. So I'm going to start my short chat, and then I'm going to go. Well, my mother was coming over because I had done some online shopping for her because, she doesn't know how to order things online. So she just tells me what she wants and I'll order it from Amazon or wherever. And it comes here and I either take it to her, or in this case, she was coming by, so she was coming by to pick it up. So I had, just straightened up a bit, and I lit a candle because I never want somebody to come into my place and smell cat litter, and so far nobody has. But, I'll burn a candle or whatever. So I had it. I've been very careful because with Xander, with my last 2 cats, they were like 21 years old before they passed on, and I could trust them around candles. I mean, I could leave them with a candle. They'd never go near it. Sammy, I trusted, but Xander, I thought, I'm not going to burn candles unless I'm like right beside it. So I put it up on the counter and actually, thought they're not going to jump up there to get at it. And they didn't. And so my parents both came. We had a little visit and whatever, and candle was still burning. And so they left, and all of a sudden I looked down at the food that I had given them, and they had not touched it at all. So I knew that they didn't like it because, you just get to know your pets after a while. So I thought, I feel bad now because they haven't eaten. And they were meowing, and they were meowing because they were hungry. So I thought, well, I better just go get them something to eat. And so I took their little dishes and I scraped out the other stuff, and I cleaned them, and I put some nice fresh food in there. Well, Sammy was absolutely famished. So he jumped up onto the counter, and I'm thinking, well, you know, I'm just going to turn around and give Xander his food, and then I'll take Sammy's food and put it down, and he'll jump down. So in the meantime, I'm turning around and I put Xander's food down on the floor, and he's, happily gobbling it up. And I turn around and I think, what is that horrible smell? And before, I'm thinking that just as I'm turning my head, Sammy had his tail, it was a big mouth candle with 3 wicks in it, and Sammy was gobbling this food up just as fast as he could, and he had rested his tail across the burning candle. Now, the candle was not a new one, so it had burned down probably, a good ways. And so, but I don't know, it happened so fast. I'm looking and I'm thinking, I'm looking in horror before it even registers, and I'm seeing his tail. It was being singed, but you could see the little orange, sizzling along his tail. And I'm like, I grab him. It scared me to death because I thought, oh my gosh, his tail's about to go up in flames. And I grabbed him, and it scared him. And of course, I pushed the candle just away into the sink, just to get it away so that he couldn't burn himself anymore. And I'm looking at Sammy. I didn't want him to jump down though, because I wanted to examine his tail. And this is not funny. It has a good ending. That's the only reason I can laugh about it now. But I lifted up his tail, and I thought surely he's got to be burnt. He wasn't. It did not reach his skin because there was no sensitivity there. He was perfectly fine. But the smell was absolutely the worst smell ever. I mean, maybe not the worst, but it was up there. And I lifted his tail up, and the tail just, little tiny bits of fur just started falling. And then I'm kind of rubbing it, and everywhere. It looked like somebody had taken pepper and just, sprinkled pepper all over the counter. And Sammy's he's all confused. He didn't know that he was just about on fire. And he really was, because he was being singed. Anyway, he's looking around, and he's looking at all this black stuff, and he's smelling it, and he's all confused. And I'm trying to see. I wanted to get all the burnt stuff off so I could see if he was burnt anywhere. I didn't know. I might have to rush him to the vet or whatever. And he wasn't. He was absolutely fine. But he was all confused, and he's looking around because this smell is horrible. And Xander's even stops eating and starts sniffing because, animals are very sensitive to fire. And if they smell something burning, it's innate within them because they know fire is danger. So anyway, Xander's up, and Xander's sniffing around trying to find the fire. And so is Sammy. And Sammy's sniffing up towards the cupboards and looking all over and really wide-eyed. And you can tell, okay, he's smelling his singed fur, doesn't know what all these black things are all over everywhere. And he's not burnt, but he's just he's fluffed up, because he's thinking that there's fire around. And I said, Sammy, baby, it's you, baby, you are the fire. And I don't know, I don't think he understood me, but he was fine after that. Really, really, he was fine. But yeah, he's lacking a little bit of his tail. Yeah. But there's no burns there. I've looked at his skin. He's perfectly fine. He's eating and drinking and pooping and peeing and playing and snuggling. And so, yeah, there's nothing wrong. It's just that if it had been a minute too late, later, yeah, might have had a totally different ending. But and my mother said, now what if his tail had caught on fire and he ran through your place, setting everything on fire? And I said, Mom, please don't even put that picture in my head. But yes, so there'll be no more candles in here because that scared me to death. And poor little Sammy, I feel bad for him because, you know, when cats are happy, they have a tail like a question mark. If you see a cat and his tail is in the form of a question mark, he's approaching you all happy and congenial. And so he'll be approaching me, and then he'll turn and I'll see the back of his singed tail, and I'm thinking, oh, poor baby. He's like walking around so proud, not even realizing. But anyway, so that's my cat story. And with that, I think I'm going to leave because I want to eat my supper and do a little bit more research and look at the Q post before bedtime. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you for the support and encouragement and comments and all of that. I don't know what I'd do without you guys, really. I really don't. It's kind of like you grew on me. Yeah. Something like that. So anyway, that is it for tonight. You guys stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth. Truth matters because deception bites. Good night, guys.